took a few days off, but I'm back, and I've seen another video on this Venus project, and it kind of inspired me to make more videos on this Venus project. The scariest thing, and I had to stop this guy watching this guy's video because of it, and basically what this group wants to do is have technology rule the friggin' planet. When you look at humanity as being too stupid to manage itself, and you're going to, say that technology is going to become smarter than humanity, who's programming technology? Who's creating technology? Whatever technology you're going to build that's going to rule this planet, it's going to be done with the knowledge of a human. If you're too stupid to build some technology, if you're going to really believe that technology is going to become smarter than humanity, then you have to realize that humanity just got smarter in order to build something like that. It's going to be, this is something that the elites want. They want technology to run the planet. And now I'm seeing this Venus project is like talking in parallel to what this New World Order wants. And how best to get you to get on board with it. They appear to be attracting young people, and our world is shit for young people. If they're gonna, they're gonna be a group of people that want change more than anything else. But and you're gonna offer them, you don't have to work, you don't have to do anything, everything will be given to you free. But at what cost? You will never have another say. You know, they've never ever been able to figure out how technology can make your life easier. I'm 51. I've watched this technology age develop basically from its infancy. We have a genealogy. I have grandparents. They're pretty freaking old. Well, they're all dead now, but I heard their stories. That goes back to before the 1900s. In the 1800s, I was alive hearing stories of people that lived through the 1800s. I lived with people that suffered from the last depression. I lived in a time where we had no TVs. Then there was no color TV. Where do you think the name clicker came from? This one is a pretty funny story, but my father was the Joneses, keep up with the Joneses. The guy next door is the one that has the first technology ever out. Well, my father was that. He had to have the first, the best, the biggest. So, when the TVs came out, we had to have one. When color TV came out, we had to have one. Color TV came out when they were landing on the moon. So we had a nice big party of everybody that wanted to see people landing on the moon on color TV, which was filmed in black and white. Pretty funny. But when TV came out with these clickers, I couldn't remember the name of the channel changer. Couldn't remember what it was called, the remote. And so I, way back when it first came out, when it was first in our house, I called it a clicker. Now the universe calls the remote controller a clicker. And you have to ask yourself, where did that term come from? Could it be the first person who said it? Which we'll never ever notice who started anything. But getting back to um, what I'm saying, you have to look at the insanity of Stephen Hawking. If you agree that Stephen Hawking is a brilliant mind, if you agree that Stephen Hawking has solved a few problems, then look at the insanity of Stephen Hawking when he says we need to explore outer space because humans don't know how to solve problems. He hasn't looked in the mirror, he hasn't seen that he is human, and he hasn't seen that he has the ability to solve a problem. So if the greatest guy on the planet can't recognize his own intelligence, do you think anybody on this planet can recognize their intelligence enough to build a technology that's going to control your planet? What I see, and one of my gifts, we all have a unique talent. Some talents are really, really hard to recognize and put into words and use in your everyday life. But mine is patterns. I can see patterns. I can see the same game played over and over again. And it's really friggin' cool when you can see a pattern, because the only way to get outside of a pattern is by recognizing it's a pattern. And just when you think you've jumped out of that pattern, you're into another pattern that's identical. And you can change the landscape. You can change so many aspects of a pattern to make it look different, but it always results to the same pattern. So that's the trickiest game that we've got to recognize as humans, is when do we jump outside and not play the same game, not repeat the same patterns. And the patterns that I see with this Venus project is anybody that's interested in the Mayan calendar, clearly history is repeating itself. We see so many of that same pattern over and over and over again, that history repeats itself. And there's a Mayan calendar out there that, somebody paid attention to these patterns, because once you recognize a pattern, you can predict the future. And what the pattern is sacrificing the few for the greater good. Back in the old days, what they used to do is, get slaves walking up to that pyramid and chopping their heads off and thinking that they had to sacrifice some human to the sun gods to, get better crops so that they all can eat. And eventually they all died off, but kind of look at that as, the Queen of England is, chopping off the heads of a few poor people, that are just eating up everybody's food and being a waste, but if we sacrifice those people living in poverty, then it'll be good for the greater good. The greater good is always going to be the wealthy ones. The greater good is always going to be, the slave masters. And they're chopping off, the workers, like, who they end up killing? The people that are loving, the people that aren't selfish enough to want to manipulate you out of everything you've got. They're willing to serve. So basically, the pattern that keeps getting repeated is we're wanting to get rid of those who do service to humanity, that want to do the work, that want to build everything. We will sacrifice those people for the greater good. And when we build a technology, trust without a doubt, that rule is going to be injected in every technology that we build, because we are humans. We will build our technology based on what's inside us. And as long as we can't see that aspect inside us, as long as we can't see that pattern within us, we will build it, and we will build it as a computer, and that computer will run your world. And ultimately what it will do is kill a lot of people. So there's my warning to anybody that wants to get involved in this Venus project. One sure sign that it's a project that is so deadly, serious, stay away from, because they do not receive information. If you've got a complaint, if you see something that will do harm to you, it's the same pattern going on right now. You can phone your government, tell them something within your society is not working and make a complaint. Go complain to a police officer, or go into any court, or phone your MPs, phone your government representatives, and see what they're going to do about it. Nothing. Same with this Venus project. I have tried communicating with this group. This group has zero interest in recognizing any problems. They want to go full force in what it is they think is right, and they are not interested in anybody that has any complaints. And there's a lot of people complaining about it. A lot of people are recognizing that this is a cult. Anybody that's making any kind of complaint, these are people that want change. I want change. I want change more than this Venus project wants change. So the level of my complaints is equal to the level of problems I see within this project, because this is not a good direction. I mean, if they were able to receive information, totally different story. But they are refusing any information. All they want to do is push their ideas and their concepts onto everybody else at the risk of killing people. And they don't want to look at that. They don't want to be receiving any information. Just in some of the technology that they're even talking about building is so obsolete. But yet they want to do more and more of the same thing and do it in the name of technology. So it's like, only when you can recognize that humanity is brilliant. When humanity gets to be brilliant, then maybe I would trust them to build some kind of technology. But as long as you say the builders of some technology are, crazy, insane, can't solve any problems, then trust without a doubt they're going to use that mentality to build the technology that's going to control you. Think about it. Peace out.